What's going on, guys? We are back here for another episode of the ANS podcast. I am your co-host, Alec Miller. You can catch me on Twitter right there at AlecMiller0423. You can catch all the great things that I don't tweet because I don't normally tweet, but you can always hit me up there if you ever need to hit me up. And as always, joined by Jesus, the real Jesus. What's going on, man?
What's going on? You guys can catch me on Twitter at the real Jesus, and that's spelled JEEZUS. It's right here for your convenience. I tweet a lot. I lose followers. I gain followers. I don't care. I just tweet about what's on my mind. Mostly it's about MMA. Sometimes it's about baseball, football, movies, anything else. Sometimes politics. But yeah, man, you guys can catch me there. What's up, man? Good to be back.
I know, man. Good to be back. We kind of missed last week, but I went back to work. You had something come up on Friday, but we're here tonight, and we're gonna get it done, man. We're gonna knock out 2 cards tonight and a little preview of this Saturday's card. We got a lot to get to, but before we do all that, check this out. Let me see what you think of this.
Oh, nice.
What are you watching? Which is the same thing we always start with. What are you watching? I'm going to go ahead and go first this time. So right now I am actually, my girlfriend convinced me to review shit on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
She told me to go on. If you're watching something, she's like, because I like to talk to her about it. And normally she don't really want to hear about the fuck I'm talking about. So she's like, go on TikTok, review it. And dude, I started reviewing. So the first thing I reviewed was One Punch Man. I watched episode 1. I loved it. It's hilarious. It's freaking hilarious.
Yes.
That ending scene, I like how you got your big anime fight and it turns out it wasn't real. Like, that was fantastic. Spoiler alert for the first episode of One Punch Man. I love it though. It's hilarious. And I was telling my girl about it. I was like, would you be down to watch it? She's like, no, that sounds boring.
Dude, it's so
I'm like,
good,
I get it. But so did that. I watched that and reviewed it. Got a little buzz. Reviewed the second episode of New Girl because I watch New Girl all the time. So I reviewed it. It was good. It was okay. The one that got me a lot, I got over 800 views on this TikTok.
Wow.
I reviewed the first episode of Akame ga Kill. So it's an anime on Netflix. It's not a Netflix original, but it's an anime on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's about this guy. He's going to the to this. It's called the Imperial Capital because he wants to make money. He wants to be part of their army so he can make money and save his village. Turns out they're not the greatest people. He ends up getting these assassins come. This group of assassins called the Night Raid. They come and they kill this high-ranking family. And at first he's like, "What the hell?" And he finds out that 2 of his friends that had also left with him, but they kind of went their separate ways. And he thought "Oh, they must have been here. They must have got here too." Turns out that the family, grabbed them and they put them in their barn where they have a bunch of poor citizens that they're just torturing for fun. Wow. So he ends up fucking killing his little girl, gory as hell, and he joins them basically. And I'm on the second episode. I put it on my TikTok. So guys, if you want to go on my TikTok and watch my reviews, it's at Alec Reviews. It's I'm not really doing it because one of my friends was like, if you want to get a lot of attention, I was like, I'm not really trying to get a lot of attention. I'm just doing this because I like to talk about what I watch. So that's where I do it. I tell people, if you want to. What you guys like and stuff will go on a list, but more than likely I'm gonna just watch whatever I want to watch and put it on there. But because of that I watched Akame ga Kill. I watched the first episode of this one called Kill La Kill, which is kind of an older anime, it seems like. Mm-hmm. I watched an episode of the Seven Deadly Sins, which is really good. It was good. I wasn't into it until there was a little review at the end. I'm like, oh, okay, now you got me. And then just today I watched an episode of Hunter x Hunter, and I thought it was pretty good. So there's a lot of anime that's going around. Apparently anime is very popular on TikTok, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
the demographic that's on TikTok is younger, so absolutely.
Yeah, they're liking it. I'm getting comments stuff, so it's cool. But then also me and my girlfriend are watching Naruto. She's watching it for the first time. The disappointing thing, when we got to the Haku and Zabuza storyline, she didn't cry, man. I was like, what? No.
Wow.
She's like, I don't care about these guys. I was like, you are insane. That shit
I don't
crazy.
care about these guys.
But the good thing, and she said that the battles were a little slow, and I will admit the battles with Zabuza and Kakashi do kind of lag. They kind of go a little slow. But then we got into the tuning exam, and she's starting to feel it now. We just got to where it's the preliminaries before the third round. So we just watched. So we've seen Sasuke fight that one dude. We've seen Sakura and Ino fight. We've seen Kankuro fight. We haven't seen Gaara yet. No, I'm waiting for Gaara because she likes Rock Lee a little bit. The hard part is she asked me who my favorite characters are. So her favorite character at the moment is Sasuke, which upsets me because I hate Sasuke with a passion. But I told her as long as you don't like Sakura, it's cool. So I told her like Naruto is obviously my favorite character, but probably a very close second is Itachi. She's like, he's evil. And I was like, because then she's like, she got spoiled a little bit. She was like, so I saw Sasuke ends up getting like going crazy, and I'm like, I can't tell you anything.
You can't.
So then he got the curse mark, and she was like, is that why he goes crazy? I was like, I can't tell you anything.
But Team Pervy Sage over here, man.
Oh, dude, I can't wait till we get there. Like Shippuden, I think she's gonna love. I think because Shippuden when it picks up.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm gonna skip the filler. I'm not gonna watch any fillers. Because like I think the last 100 episodes or last 50 episodes of the Naruto show are filler before it goes into Shippuden. So I'm skipping all the filler. Gonna go right into Shippuden, and dude, like when Shippuden picks up, it picks up.
It goes fast, man.
So I'm getting excited. That at least like she's liking it. She's finding characters that she's liking, and like even yesterday she was like, "Hey, let's go watch Naruto." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's go watch Naruto." So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign, man. That means that she's invested. Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is the way that I had to convince her to watch Naruto finally is I told her after that we'll watch Sailor Moon because I've never seen Sailor Moon and she loves it.
God!
Yeah, so I gotta watch Sailor Moon after this. Who knows? Maybe I'll like it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's a steep price right there, man. Steep price.
Yeah. And also, if anyone wants to know what I'm drinking a Shiner Strawberry Blonde. I'm gonna have two of these for the night. I got the
red Solo cup.
Wave. There you go. I got this like Heat Wave, pack, and it had the Strawberry Blonde, the peach one, which I thought was really good. And then they had a mango one that I wasn't feeling. So what I do is when I don't like something, I'm not gonna let the beer go to waste. I ran through those, got rid of them. so now all that's left is strawberry.
Nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, nothing goes. Absolutely not. That's how many times like my girl says like, "Hey, no more drinking at a party," and then I open a beer and she's just like, "I told you no more drinking." I was like, "Well, it's open now. I gotta drink it."
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
One time she told me, pour it down the sink. I was like, take that back.
Nope. Party foul.
So what's up, man? What are you watching?
Oh man, I've been watching a couple different things, man. Yesterday was my twins' birthday. They turned 6. So we actually rented or bought, I don't even remember, the movie Scoob.
Oh, how was it?
It was actually really good, man. It was actually really good.
Cool.
It does it's kind of like somewhat of an origin story as well. When Scoob and Shaggy are little and how they become best friends, and it's kind of like a friend story. The kids loved it, man. There's a lot of hijinks and falling down and jumping around and stuff. So it was good, man. Yeah, it's pretty good. It had a pretty good little message at the end too.
Okay.
So that was good. I saw that yesterday. This week I watched this show on Netflix. It says it's a Netflix original, but I think they bought it from some UK company or something. But it's called Hiri Kaji or something like that, and it's Japanese for duty and shame. And it doesn't have famous actors over here. I'm sure they're famous where they're at. It has one famous actress from the UK or from Ireland. I don't know. She was in some other Netflix shows, and I think she was in Boardwalk Empire, but I'm not sure. But it's actually a really good show, man. It's only one season so far. It's half Japanese. It's half in Japanese, half in English. And it follows a older brother who is a police detective trying to find his younger brother who's gone missing, who was actually part of the Yakuza. So it has like the whole Yakuza background, give you some background into that, into what happened, and you find out slowly throughout throughout the season. So it's actually pretty good. I liked it. Some of the ending I didn't like. It got real. Oh man, what's that word? Like real artsy, filmy kind of deal. There's like one scene specifically at the end, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll give you that because you've given me such a good season. So I saw that, and then yesterday I've been watching the weekly documentary on the Golden State Killer. I'll Be Gone in the Dark on HBO, and that's just, man, as good as I expected it to be. It's actually even better than the book or the podcast because you get so much more insight into the author of the book and what she was going through and how she was researching. And it's amazing, actually, man. Like at one point, she got 37 banker boxes of evidence from one police department. And if you think about it, how crazy is that, man? She's just a citizen. She's just a writer, and they actually let her take those boxes out of the building into her home to look over and pour over evidence and pictures of the scenes, witness statements, interviews, like the whole nine, dude. And she just was able to take it. She said that she felt like she was doing a robbery, and so she sped out of there when she put the stuff in. So it's pretty interesting, man. I definitely recommend it if you're into those kind of criminal minds show, or criminal, like how criminals act, or why, or how it is investigating them. It's pretty cool, man. So that's what I've been watching. I think that's. Oh, I saw. Did I tell you that I saw Parasite as well?
No, you didn't.
Not the movie Parasite. I had already seen
the anime.
The anime Parasite. Yeah, it's good, man. It's really weird at the beginning, and then it starts going into the whole world of the show. And it's pretty cool, man. It's actually pretty cool, pretty interesting. It does have kind of a like it beats you over the head with the messages a couple times.
Yeah.
But I mean the animation is pretty cool, the storyline is pretty cool, the concept is pretty cool. So I would recommend it, man.
All right, that one was actually recommended by one of my commenters on one of my TikToks, and I put it on a list, and that's when that one's going to come up. Also, one that I watched today, also just real quick, was the one called High School. I'm in the middle of it. It's called High School DxD. It's on Hulu, and it's M for mature. It is very mature. It is nudity and gore and all that. Wow. So I'm in the middle of it. I'm not sure. Like, that's one that I can't watch around people. That's probably one I gotta watch on my own. But it's kind of similar to like that Food Wars one I told you about, where it gets very sexual, and it's just like, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to be watching this around people. But also a movie that we watched last night was Green Room. I don't know if you've seen Green Room. With Patrick Stewart and Anton Yelchin, and man, that's a brutal movie. That's one I would definitely recommend. It's on Netflix.
I've heard about it. Isn't where they beat up some Nazis or something, or is that it? Does it have something to do with it?
Well, it's like they're a punk band, and they end up taking this gig, and then it turns out it's a gig with like a bunch of neo-Nazis, and then something goes down that they end up getting trapped in this room, in the green room of the venue, and just shit goes down. It's pretty brutal, man. It's one that it's it's brutal, but it's not like overly brutal. Like, I'm not a fan of like movies like Hostel, and like after 3 movies of Saw, I was kind of done with it.
Like body gore, you don't like the body gore stuff.
Like, it's just when it's excessive. But like this, it worked. There's one scene that's especially like, oh damn! Like when you see it, you're just like, oh my god, how is he like not passed out from the pain? Like it's good, man. Definitely one worth checking out.
Oh, real quick too, I don't know if I told you the last one. I saw The Old Guard. Did I tell you the last one?
Oh no, how was it?
The Old Guard is good too. I've heard some bad reviews on it from some very snooty,
hoity-toity.
Yeah, dude, and I'm like, man, I don't know what you guys want. Like, it has some big name actors like Charlize Theron, and I forgot the guy's name, but he came out in Doctor Strange, the one that kind of taught Doctor Strange.
Ejiofor?
Yes, him. He's in it. They play good parts. It's a pretty interesting a pretty interesting story and concept. It was also a comic book. So I mean, it's pretty cool, man. And supposedly it's a 3-part series, a 3-part arc, and the director has said that he's already doing the second one, and he can do a third one too. So I think it's 100% financed by Netflix. So I don't know, man. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I like the concept. I like kind of stories like that. So the concept, do you know anything about the concept of that?
I don't know nothing. I haven't watched it. I just know that I'm probably going to watch it because I like Charlize Theron.
Yeah, dude. So the concept is pretty cool, man. It's basically a group of immortals. You know, that's why they're called the Old Guard, and they're supposed to be protecting, you know, the world or the earth or whatever from different types of danger or whatever. And the difference is they are immortals, but eventually their wounds stop healing, so they do die. They just and they don't know when or why or how or what. So any fight they fight could be their last fight. But it's a pretty interesting story, man. So I don't want to ruin too much of it. I just want to kind of give you a baseline on it, but I'll recommend it.
Oh, that's one I'll definitely check out. That sounds interesting as hell. All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and jump into some sports stuff. Just real quick. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but the MLB season is starting this week. Thursday night, we're getting Yankees versus Nationals, and then the next night we're getting Astros. I don't remember who we're playing.
Seattle,
but Seattle. There you go. So we're playing the Seattle Mariners, and I'm excited. I'm kind of happy that it's a shortened season because I don't like the fact that it's 162 games. I think it's ridiculously excessive. I think bringing that down to like a good solid 100 would do the league a lot. But I also feel like I mean there's something about shortening season, like it's just a little excessive, because I think the same thing about the NBA. Like, drop it down a few. It don't got to be 82 games. It don't got to be 162 games. But I'm excited, man. Missing some sports, and I'll probably watch the first game for sure with a beer in hand and watching the Astros, see what they do. Verlander is starting. So if you guys don't know, we are Houston fanatics. So we cheer everything Houston. Look at that on the head. I got the Texas tattoo right here. So we're Houston on the way, but we will be probably not covering heavily, like deep, but we will be bringing up sports along the way. One more thing before we get to the juiciness of what we're talking about today. NBA, their season is starting in a few weeks. Let me see. Next week, actually. Sorry, next Thursday is the NBA season. I made my girlfriend write that on the calendar. And they've done all the tests, and I believe there were 0 tests out of all the tests. They've 0 positive results from all the tests that they did. And they said they did over 2,000 results.
Who said that?
That was on Bleacher Report.
No, they're
I can
crazy.
look it up real quick.
That's crazy because Russell Westbrook was positive.
Well, he already went down to Orlando today.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he was positive.
But he wasn't in Orlando though.
Oh,
I'm talking about in the bubble. In the bubble.
Well, yeah, in the bubble, but he wasn't able to go because he was positive. So they're just.
I know, but the important thing that they reported was that at the moment there are zero positive results, and that's the thing, is the bubble is the most important part. If people are we're catching out there, that's one thing, but the idea is to keep the bubble, especially with the snitch hotline and players trying to break the rules and all that. But once the bubble is compromised, that's it. There's no more season. Season's over. That's why the MLB season is very scary, because there is no bubble, and same thing with the football season. There is no bubble. But the NFL also announced that they were going to be doing daily testing. So I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see going forward. I don't know. Roger Goodell is crazy.
Yeah, well, they also announced that they're going to go down from 4 preseason games to 1 to get a later start for the season. But I've also been seeing a lot of big name players like Drew Brees, like Patrick Mahomes, like what's the guy from Cleveland that hit the other dude over the head with the
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, and I forgot the last one, but there's like 4 big names that have said that they're not going to play unless the NFL puts in some strict safety protocols for going back to playing, specifically about COVID-19 and things of that nature. So I'm sure that there's a lot of pressure on the NFL now. And it's true, man. They've had literally the longest time to put a
to get
game
ready.
plan to get a game plan in place, and it looks like they dropped the ball. As far as
Yep.
the MLB goes, MLB is different too, man. There's more staff, I guess, or like support staff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, than the NBA. So like I was thinking too, like Brett Strom is at a higher risk for the Astros. So is the coach Dusty Baker. They're
Yep.
older. I think Dusty Baker's over 70. I think Brett Strom is over 70 as well. So it's a lot of risk involved, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just interesting because when they started playing, I know for a fact that one of the Astros player, which is the catcher Martin Maldonado, had issues with the MLB protocol because there was a lot of dropping of the ball, and again, this is probably, I always refer back to kind of like what the UFC went through. The UFC wanted to start that fight like 2 weeks after the lockdown in April, and it
Yeah.
just kind of sputtered and flamed out, and they had to cancel it. But what happened is they were trying to do it, and they were having a lot of issues with it, and they made mistakes, and then Dana White and the leadership fixed it so that they could have their next fight go off without a hitch, and that's exactly what happened. And now they've been putting on fights almost every weekend, sometimes twice a week. So I think what happened with Martin Maldonado is the MLB was going through its procedure and figuring out the holes in it, and also the NBA is doing the same thing in the bubble. I think there was already an issue where one of the players ordered DoorDash and broke protocol,
Yep.
and he had a quarantine for I think 10 or 14 days or something of that nature.
Yep.
So it's all a learning experience, man, and getting to an understanding of what you have to do to be safe inside of a bubble, or to be safe to put on a show like the MLB or the UFC or whatever. And it's gonna take some trial and error. Like these guys are not gonna be 100% right off the bat. But like you mentioned, I'm glad there is a season. It sucks that it's shortened or whatever, but I'd rather have this than nothing at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having issues with it for my fantasy football league that I've been doing for almost 10 years now. Fantasy baseball league, I'm sorry, that I've been doing for
Yeah.
almost 10 years now, because the provider fantasy, which is Yahoo Fantasy Sports, doesn't want to make it like an amended season, or like it's basically a regular season. So our keepers, you would have to waste a year on this season, and some of them like aren't even playing. Like David Price ain't playing. I don't think Mike Trout said he's gonna play or not. So so there's some issues with it, but I mean it's the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game for this year, and that's what we're gonna watch, and that's what we're gonna support. And
Mm-hmm.
and and honestly, man, like from a psychological standpoint, man, we need something like this right now. The U.S. is morale at an all time low. We need some sort of sports to kind of get behind and root. And I mean, right now, dude, just watching this first game, the Astros are playing right now in Kansas City. My
Mm-hmm.
kids stopped what they're doing and want to go watch it with me right before we got on, and that
Yeah.
rarely happens. So it's a big deal, man. I'm excited about it. Like you said, we're not going to be covering it in depth, but we are going to be talking about it. We are going to be talking about what we see. What we're seeing that's different from normal. Obviously, no noise, or are they going to be pumping noise in? No people in the stands. How quiet it is, but it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time. We're at the precipice of sports, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. And yeah, guys. So also don't forget, even though the MLB season is shortened, this is the content for the NBA. It is the continuation
Yes.
of the season. It is not the ending. It is not a brand new season. It's the continuation of the season, and the brand new season after that is going to start, I believe, late April. I mean, late October. Like very quickly, they're not going to have very much time to
Mm-hmm.
kind of sit back and rest. I wonder how they're going to do the off season in terms of that, but we'll see going forward. But yeah, just real quick. The reason why the results for the COVID test came out today is because they do. I guess they're releasing results every 7 days. So the last time they did the results was was the 13th of July, and they had two players that tested positive, and obviously they went into quarantine as soon as possible. So the good thing is that out of those two players that tested positive for COVID, they did not, because of the way that the bubble was set up, they were not able to infect anybody else. So that's why they're at zero now. Uh, Even though players, and the thing also is when, like you said, when protocol is being broken, players leaving the bubble. Uh, when they come back, they are forced into quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into the rest of today, man. And I'm excited, man. There's a lot of good stuff that happened this week, this past 2 weeks, I guess. Past week, I don't know. I don't know days
past
anymore.
10 days.
But,
past 10 days.
Yeah, there you go. Past 10 days, and I'm really excited to get talking about it. But as you know, once I start going through it, you stop me when you want to talk about something. I was not able to catch everything, but I was able to catch a few things. So, but I definitely watched the main things that we need to talk about, and it's going to be basically this whole show is going to be about where is everybody going after this. So let's get it to it right here. Boom. UFC Fight Night 172, Kattar versus Ige. I knew this was going to be a banger. Both guys can throw. I was interested to see how Ige was going to be able to handle the longer and bigger Calvin Kattar. And we'll get to that later. But underneath that, man, you had a bunch of, and this is the thing about these cards, and we've said it multiple times, man. When you got a bunch of no names or people that are trying to prove themselves, the finishes come in abundance. They come and they don't stop. And that's exactly what happened in the undercard. The finishes were coming quick and fast. On the undercard alone, you had 3 performances of the night, including, and then on the main card, you had the fight of the night. But yeah, three performances of the night on the undercard alone. So guys, stop sleeping on the undercard, guys. Go out there and watch the undercard. It's always great, man. I feel like we say this every time. I probably sound like a broken record, but something about those undercards, man, that just those guys don't got nothing to lose. They're trying to get paid. They're trying to get a job, and they're trying to get called one more time. And they come out here and they put on performances like this, and it's always great for the fans. So first off, we have here bantamweight division, Jack Shore versus Aaron Phillips. Jack Shore wins by submission in the second round. Jack Shore was kind of just, if I remember correctly, Jack Shore was just kind of like, kind of ruling over Aaron Phillips. He just kind of outmatched, but he ended up getting the.
I didn't watch most of these fights, man, on the undercard. So you were talking to me when you were talking about these undercard fights, and it's not because I don't want to watch them. You know, I watch every fight. I just didn't have time on this day to do it.
Keep in mind, this was a Wednesday night. This wasn't a Saturday night where we try to put some time off. It's just Wednesday night, stuff's going on. It's all good. I was able to do it because I caught it on the way home, and then I ended up missing the rest of the fight card. But Jack Shore gets a big win over Aaron Phillips. Impressive. Looks good. Bantamweight division is one of those divisions. Probably my favorite. My second favorite. It's kind of like very close between featherweight and bantamweight at the moment because there's so many ways that it can go, and we'll get to the featherweight later. But yeah, so this is Jack Shore kind of showing like, hey, maybe I belong in this division here. Next, we have the women's flyweight division. We have Diana Belbita taking on Liana Jojua. And this one, Diana couldn't handle Jojua. Just couldn't handle her. And Jojua was just kind of was working to find what she needed. She got the submission in the first round, and impressive for her, definitely. Next up, my pick for the best nickname, Jared Flash Gordon, taking on Chris Fishgold.
That's kind of like easy. You know what I mean?
It's easy, but hey, sometimes when they say that's the safe pick. Well, yeah, it's the safe pick because it's a good pick. It's a common nickname, but it's a great nickname. Flash Gordon. Your last name's Gordon. That's the first thing that comes to your mind is Flash Gordon.
Fair enough.
Commissioner Gordon. That'd be a good one.
That would have been a good one.
Commissioner. That'd be a good one.
Jared Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, so Jared Gordon coming in here against Chris Fishgold in the featherweight division. This is one that Paul Felder actually left the announcing booth to go corner Jared Gordon, and I think it worked because Jared Gordon was just killing Chris Fishgold for 3 rounds, man. Chris Fishgold didn't stand a chance. In my book, he didn't win a round. Jared Gordon had him like that. So a guy like this, and it's something about when these guys are, even though they don't get the finish, but they go all 3 rounds, man. It's impressive because that means that you can hang for 3 rounds. He didn't look tired. He didn't look like he was gassed at the end. because it usually happens in these 3-round fights is first 2 rounds they're winning, and then that 3rd round they're just kind of done, and either they get caught or they win, but it's pretty obvious. But this one he was good 3 rounds, so good for him. And Paul Felder might have a future as a corner, man.
Dude,
I mean, he's got 3 jobs right now.
Yeah, dude, Paul Felder is good at whatever he puts his mind to, man.
Love Paul Felder, man. I really do. All right, next up, one of the performances of the night, light heavyweight, Modestas Bukauskas taking on Andreas Michailidis. Don't ask me to say that ever again. But Modestas getting the TKO at the end of the first round. So the first round ends, and I believe Andreas actually gave up. So he didn't want him. He didn't want the smoke. So Modestas gets the performance of the night right there. These other 2 I did not check. I didn't get a chance to check out. But we have featherweight division, Ricardo Ramos taking on Lerone Murphy, a first round knockout by Lerone Murphy, earning a performance of the night for him, taking home that $50,000. And you know what? It's nice to see these guys on the undercard taking home the $50,000 because they need it.
Hold on, which one is this the one where the guy broke his jaw?
I don't know, man. Check that out while you're doing that. I'll go ahead and read up the next one. But yeah, go ahead and look that up before we head up. Next up, middleweight, John Phillips taking on Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev wins by submission and gets the other performance bonus. So that's the 3 performance bonuses right there taken away. All on the undercard. You love to see it.
No, it wasn't this one. It was the next fight card.
Okay. So now you have right here the fight of the night winner. And I think you watched these, right?
I watched the whole main card here.
All right. So we have Abdul Razak Al Hassan taking on Munir Lazez. This is what Fight Island does. It brings these hard to pronounce names, but I'm getting through it.
Well, man, this was a really good fight, especially to open up the main card.
I will say to find out that I have to go back and watch this because to find out that this won Fight of the Night and not Kattar versus Ige, surprising.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to check this one out.
Yeah, so let me give you some background on this. So Razak Al Hassan has been demolishing fools, man, and I don't think he's been out of the first round. So this for him to get out of the first round into a 3-round fight. But this guy Munir Lazez was signed by Dana White because his son, I think his 17-year-old son, was watching highlight videos of him and told him, "Dad, you need to sign this guy. This guy's good. He's legit. He's knocking people out." And so he signed him. Well, this fight in the first round, it looked like Razak Al Hassan was going to get another knockout because he was teeing him up and just, I mean, hitting him square, dude, like square with a lot of power and just going for the kill, dude, because he kept like wobbling him or getting him hurt. I don't even think he was hurting him. I think he was just catching him off guard, and he was like, "Oh man, he has power," you know. But what happened is it looks like Razak Al Hassan kind of got tired and from trying to finish the fight, and then Lazez kind of settled in and just started going to work, man, and started timing him, picking him apart basically on the feet because this guy Lazez, I think, is like a kickboxer, but he had really good sound defense throughout the whole fight. And then towards the end of the fight, Razak Al Hassan got his second win, and it got close again, like he was going to knock him out. So it's just a good fight, man, back and forth. I think in the middle of the fight, you might think, "Oh, man, it's over. Lazez got this." And then the third round comes, and it's just, kind of even again. So it was a good fight, man.
All right. Definitely going to go back and check that one out. Because, I'm telling you, man, if this one Fight of the Night and that Calvin Kattar, I honestly thought Kattar versus Ige was going to win Fight of the Night. So when I looked at the performance bonuses and saw this one Fight of the Night, I was like, damn, that must have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was a really good fight, man. Definitely a really good fight.
All right, next up, and we talked about this before we started, but Molly Meatball McCann taking on Talia Santos, and I was very surprised to hear about this, but Molly McCann takes the loss via decision, and I like Meatball. I think she's a great personality. I think she's good, man, and it's unfortunate to see her lose like this. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is what I was telling you, that I feel like her management saw Talia Santos' last fight and saw her get beat and just look lost, and they probably thought, "Oh, this is an easy win." another dub on the record, and we can keep going forward to where we want to go, which is getting ranked and getting better fights. But Talia Santos came out and she was a completely different fighter, man. Look at those takedowns. 5 takedowns to 0. And insane. I mean, she looked on point. She controlled the whole fight. This was like not even close. 3 rounds to 0 for Talia Santos. Looked like a completely different fighter. If this Talia Santos shows up to fight, she's a problem in this division. It just sets up a lot of interesting and intriguing fights for Talia Santos going forward. And for Molly McCann, man, it's kind of disheartening, man, because she was beating every striking, takedowns, control. She couldn't do anything offensively. Talia Santos was shutting it down and bringing her own offense. So it was very interesting, man.
Yeah. But this is a good thing. Honestly, this is a good thing because this flyweight division is ripe for the picking, man. Like if you haven't fought Shevchenko, you want to climb up those rankings fast and get your shot, man, because she's cleaned up the division. And one thing you can say is, hey, I haven't lost Shevchenko yet. Let me get a shot. So this could be a big win for Talia, get some momentum, and I'm hoping that Molly McCann is able to bounce back and really pull it all together.
Yeah, she's gonna need to go back to the drawing board, man. She couldn't get past her jab. She couldn't get past her reach. She wasn't taking the punches that well. So yeah, she needs to go back to the drawing board.
Okay, all right. Let's get to the next one right here. Featherweight bout. We got Jimmy Rivera, El Terror, taking on Spartan Cody Stamann. Number 8 versus number 9 here in the division. And this is so you said Stamann is the one that fought after his brother passed away. Where did he fight last time? Was that lightweight? Remember he said he wanted to go back down?
No, he fought at featherweight. I think he wanted to go to 135, I think.
So why is he ranked? Interesting.
Let me see. I'll check right now. Let me double check.
Okay.
But this fight, man, this fight was one-sided for Jimmy Rivera. I mean, if you could see, look at the strikes and the takedowns.
Yeah, man.
And it wasn't as one-sided as the Talia Santos McCann fight, but Jimmy Rivera is a veteran. And what I wanted to say to this fight is that Jimmy Rivera is like that guy Rafael Assunção, in that the top of the division can beat him, but and kind of like I think he was beaten handedly. I think he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes, and he's been he fought Brian Kelleher at featherweight, so he wants to go down to 135, I think.
Okay.
So Jimmy Rivera lost to Marlon Moraes. He's lost to Aljamain Sterling at 135. So he's fighting at 145 here. And
they both, because Jimmy Rivera is also a 145 guy, but I mean a 135 guy.
Yeah. So they were fighting at 145. I don't know why.
They probably couldn't make weight, and they just agreed upon 130, maybe 130. Well, 145 was just easier. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, he fought at 135 last against Peter Yan. So he's lost to Peter Yan. So those are the 3 he's lost to at 135. Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling, and Marlon Moraes, which are the 3 guys at the top of that division. And they all beat him. They all beat him handedly pretty much. But this guy, Cody Stamann, fights him, and Jimmy Rivera outclasses him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard once you get to the top of a division to be good or to win. And these guys think, I felt like, and Stamann too, like, I'm not saying like, oh, he thought he was at the top, but he had been on the rise. He has a good story behind him. He looked good in his last fight. He beat up a prospect, and so he was trying to kind of test himself. And it's like, hey, you need to go back to the drawing board and understand, what it takes to compete at the highest levels, because Jimmy Rivera just outclassed you, and Jimmy Rivera has been beat soundly 3 times by the 3 top people at 135 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, and also maybe he needs to take a little break, dude. Like, I understand, like, you're grieving, man. Like, you maybe need to go and take a break and grieve, because this is very quick. This is very quick after his last fight. His last fight was like a month ago. A very quick turnaround, even though you didn't take no damage. But you got to think about the mental aspect too. And and that was the guy you fought was a prospect. You're coming up here and you're fighting the number 8 ranked guy that's above you. Like, and I'm not gonna take too much away from Stamann right now.
Yeah.
With everything that's happened with him, he's kind of allowed a little pass, but I would say go take a break, heal, not just physically but mentally, and come back and test what you got, man. I'm assuming he's not going to drop. I mean, no, he hasn't dropped. If he would have dropped, he was going to drop because this was weeks ago. This was a week ago. So I mean, if he was going to drop, he was going to drop. He didn't drop, so go back to the drawing board. And hope that Dana White doesn't offer you Dominic Cruz. Because Dominic Cruz is below him in the rankings.
True. That's true.
So just hope that he doesn't offer him that, because you will feel, I'm pretty sure he'll feel like he has to take it, and that is not a fight you want to take. But all right, man, let's get to the next fight. So this is the co-main event at Flyweight. We have Tim Elliott, number 13, taking on babyface Ryan Benoit. It's not Benoit. I remember hearing them say Benoit. That name's not allowed to be said anymore.
Exactly. That Benoit was trending on Twitter when they were fighter after the fight, and everybody thought it was it was Chris Benoit. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh man, that's horrible. All right. So this one, I didn't catch the end. I caught the decision for this one. And I will say Benoit was not happy with this result. Tell me about this fight, man. How did it go? This
fight is your classic. What do you like more? What do you grade more? Is it volume or is it power? Because Tim Elliott was I mean, if you look at, I mean, it was 90 total strike versus 64, but they weren't having a lot of effect on Benoit, and Benoit was catching Elliott with some hard punches that were staggering him or backing him up or making him think twice about coming in. And Elliott is just very, very mobile. He moves around a lot. He jumps in and out, kind of like a Clay Guida. So he just always looks like he's doing something. And Benoit was just catching him coming in or catching him going out, and he was upset, man. And this is one of those. Who would you rather be, man? Like, would you rather be the guy that takes 90 soft punches or 64 hard punches? I mean, it's just which one do you pick? On top of that, they had bad judges this fight as well. I think it was judges that were flown in that weren't accredited, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. Maybe they were judging this by boxing standards on a point-based system, and in that sense, Elliott wins, which he did, and Benoit loses. So I don't know, man. I felt like if it's just a fight, like if you're looking at it as a fight, I think Benoit might have won that fight, but it's too close, man. So I don't think he should be. I mean, he's upset because obviously he's biased, but it's just too close, and I don't care either way. Like, if it would have gone to Benoit, I would have been okay. Well, it went to Elliott, okay, whatever.
Yeah, one of those fights where it's just kind of like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool. It's not as egregious as the Volk and Holloway fight.
No.
Even though it is like, you're like, come on, man, what were you looking at? But at the same time, it's like, that fucking third round was close.
Yeah.
That's why you don't slow down, man. It was just the opposite of what happened, but
never leave it in the hands of the judges, like Dana White always loves to say.
Yeah. I heard fighters hate when people say that. They're like, we don't leave it in the judges' hands on purpose. But let's go ahead and move on. And this one I can finally talk about. And god damn it, this was a great fight, man.
Yeah.
Featherweight fight. Number 6, Calvin Kattar versus 50K, Dan Ige. Number 10. And I'm going to say right now, man, Kattar did not have to take this fight. It could have been a bad matchup for him if Ige was able to take him down. But as you can see there, out of 9 takedowns, Kattar stuffed every single one of them, which is, dude, I don't know, like that's probably the most impressive thing. This fight was great. That's probably the most impressive thing, like the most impressive stat to me, along with Ige's ability to take that nasty elbow that knocked out Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
But being able to stuff 9 takedowns is not easy, especially from a guy like Kattar, who I didn't even know he had like any kind of wrestling capability. And I've seen Danny Ige, wrestle someone down on the ground and ground and pound them for the whole fight. So very impressive. And you look at these numbers, dude. 107 of 262 total strikes versus 87 of 221. The one thing is though, when Ige was landing, like he was landing.
Yeah.
He made Kattar think about at least one of those rounds. There was a round where Kattar was not wanting any of it.
Yeah, and he was also mixing it up and going to the body too, man, which was phenomenal on Ige's part.
It's probably where a number of these strikes for both the total strikes and significant strikes come from is the body, man. Like he was eating at that body.
Yeah, man. I think I don't know, man. This fight had a lot going on, man. Kattar is on the rise. He's a tough dude, man. He's a tough dude. I think Ige had problems with Kattar's length, and he, like you said, he couldn't take him down. I think he figured out some things a little too late, and he was already too beat up and couldn't really take advantage of it. He was keying off of I think it was like a kick and a punch that Kattar was throwing. That's how he was catching with that big overhand right. But one thing that Ige said in the post conference or whatever is he wanted to go in there and test himself, and he got the chance to do that. And he could say that he fought the number 6 fighter in the world, and for sure Kattar is at least the 6th best featherweight in the world. But I mean, he's good, man. He's really good. He's shown a lot. I feel like he has that elbow down now, that timed elbow that he throws now. And
how that doesn't knock out Ige is beyond me.
Yeah, he's just a tough dude, man. Like I can't point to one thing and say, he has a great jab, he has a great overhand, he has great combos, he has great kicks. He doesn't really, but altogether, the sum of all his parts are better than any one individual thing that he does.
He's good all around. He just needs that one little thing to get him over the edge.
Mm-hmm. And he's tough. He's tough as shit, man. Like Ige put it on him too, man. It's not like he came out. Maybe that's the one thing that he has as a weakness is his defense, man, because Ige was putting on him. And he can probably
he broke Kattar's nose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he could, and you could see when he did it too, because he kept touching it. And you can probably shore that up with your Kattar, because it's only going to get tougher, man, when you get to the top of the division. At 45, you have
so many people, dude.
You have Holloway.
All right, hold on. Let me share this screen. I have the rankings pulled up, and it's ridiculous, man. It really is. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Look at this, dude. The fact that Holloway isn't champ is egregious. But just look at this, man. You have number 1 Max Holloway. Number 2 is Zabit, who has beat Calvin Kattar.
Yep.
In a 3-round fight. Yes, in a 3-round fight. Should have been a 5-round, but I keep saying that because I want to take away from Zabit because I love Kattar, but at the same time, like, they were weeks' notice. I'm pretty sure both said no.
On top of that, how good does that win look now for Zabit after what Kattar's been doing? Because Zabit shut him down for basically 2.5 rounds, dude. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, he looks great. Honestly, I'm going to start saying, like, again, Yair is going to have a problem in their upcoming fight. And then you got number 3, Brian Ortega, who seems to be on a collision course with Chang Sung Jung, or the Korean zombie, TKZ. And then Yair Rodriguez right there above him. And the only thing about this division, man, is that there's so many people that are locked in. We're kind of just waiting to see where the chips fall. So Kattar can go back and rest that nose. Even Max Holloway can go and, go back to the drawing board and figure out, maybe I need to get a little more power in my punches or something. But everyone was saying Max Holloway versus Kattar. I mean, that's like the obvious choice to make in terms of that's the only person that's available. But it's like, I don't know how I feel about either guy fighting that guy. Like, it's going to be a great fight, but I don't know who comes out of that fight. It's either Kattar knocks out Holloway or Holloway pieces up Kattar for 3 rounds or 5 rounds.
I don't think Kattar will knock out Holloway. I think Holloway's taking bigger punches from bigger punchers.
Yeah, that's my point.
I don't know. I feel like right now, if you put him in there right now, I think Holloway wins just because, like I mentioned to you, Kattar, however you want to say it, he doesn't have the greatest defense. So Holloway
eating that jab all night long.
Yeah, Holloway is going to touch him a lot, dude, and kind of mess up his flow and his rhythm. And again, this is just preliminary, just throwing it out there. But I agree. I don't think Kattar should fight Holloway right now. I think he needs to wait and fight one of the winners between these next two fights between Zabit and Yair and Ortega and Korean Zombie. And whoever wins out of those, maybe he fights. I don't think he should fight a loser of those fights because he's on the way up and he's been on kind of a little streak going.
You know what I would do? I would give Ige one of those losers maybe. Because if you look here, Stevens is. I don't know if we're going to see Stevens for a bit, but Josh Emmett is going to be out for a while. Frankie Edgar not in it. So really,
Frank Edgar is about to fight though, right?
He's going to fight at 135.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not even there. So
he's not going to be there. So you got your pick of the losers, either the loser of Zabit or Yair, or the loser of Korean Zombie and Ortega. And I wouldn't count Dan Ige out of any of those fights.
Yeah, dude, Dan Ige is good. I think he's gonna look at this fight and see that he had some missed opportunities. That if he would have found out how to, counter him faster and use his speed against Kattar earlier, while he was fresh, that he may be looking at the other side of the decision. So yeah, man, I don't think he loses a lot in this fight, man.
Yeah. So good on Dan Ige. I see Kattar going up in the rankings. Now answer this question: if Kattar fought Volkanovski now, who wins?
Well, I'm telling you, dude. I feel like it's. I feel like it's. Yeah, I feel like it's what is it called? Styles, man. Like that's a horrible style for Volkanovski, man. Like a guy that's coming forward with power
constantly.
Yeah, with power.
That's the thing about Kattar, dude. He's constantly going forward.
Yeah, he has more power than Holloway. I can tell you that much. So I mean, I just think it's a bad matchup for Volkanovski.
So out of the two fights that could be possible for Kattar, I would say the one. Even though I would love to see Kattar take on Zabit again, just to see if Kattar has learned his lesson, I would love Kattar versus Korean Zombie. Just those two guys going forward. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
And that's the what is it called? That saying the unstoppable force against the immovable
object. Yeah,
that's what that is right there. Who wins, man?
That'd be the closest. If that fight happened, that'd probably be the closest odds of the night.
Probably, man. Absolutely, I would agree with that.
All right, so you want to go ahead and get into the next card?
Yeah, man. Let's go into the next card. The next card, I didn't see the preliminaries at all. Actually, I saw 4 of the main event fights, and I missed the Mark Casey and Rafael Fiziev fight.
Yeah, this one. This was a rough night for me to be able to watch fights. So kind of busy, so I didn't get to catch a lot of this, man. So you're gonna be leading the night on this one. But
we're gonna skip the preliminaries then because I didn't watch any of those. I'm gonna go back and watch some of them, but we'll just start off on the main card then, man. Okay,
1 second. Seeing if I caught any. Yeah, I didn't catch any of these. So yeah, main card. Let's go up. Let's go down it. All the performances of the night are here, anyways. But you have Alexander Pantoja taking on Askar Askarov. The Cannibal Pantoja taking on Bullet Askar Askarov. If someone already has that name, you don't get to take that name, in my opinion.
Really? Because there's gonna be a lot of Flash Gordons out there, but you can't take that one.
Have I seen him? I know a Bullet, and she's better. So we have Alexander Pantoja taking on Askar Askarov, number 4 versus number 7, and big win for Askar Askarov.
Yeah, controversial win, man. If you look at the total strikes, Pantoja had 40 of 71, and Askarov had 44 of 66. So it's a 4 punch difference, basically 4 strike difference. Now the takedowns. This is where I want you to see what you think. Takedowns. Pantoja had 1 of 2. And then Askarov had 2 out of 15 takedowns.
Jeez, dude, that's no bueno.
Yeah, so this fight was close, man. But I don't know. I felt like Pantoja probably won it in my book. I feel like they were helping Askarov. He's undefeated. So he kind of got the benefit on this fight. And the same thing with Pantoja for not doing more. I mean, I think he did enough. but it was just really close. And I just didn't like the fact that Askarov had 15 attempts and he only got 2 takedowns. He did get hurt a couple times, and Pantoja didn't take advantage. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where maybe there should be a point taken away, or at least a little bit of how you're scoring. That should be a negative in terms of how you're scoring. But sometimes the judges just see them attempting, I guess, and not paying attention to the stuffs.
Yeah, well, for me, man, and I'll explain it here, and maybe to you too. I know I've told you this, but whenever somebody stuffs a takedown, to me, that's part of octagon control, because one fighter wants to fight on the ground, and you're stuffing it and saying, no, we're gonna fight on our feet. So you're dictating where the fight goes. So that should be scored higher, or not, I mean, just scored to begin with. I mean, that guy tried to take it down 15 times, and you told him no 13 times. You know, that's you dictating where the fight ends up at. So I don't know, man. I just feel like, again, they had the bad judges, so it was bound to happen. And it's not a robbery, but it was something that I felt like Pantoja probably should have taken it.
All right, man. We're gonna get to Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski, taking on Dread Luana Carolina. And I've always said, how many times have I said it? I need to see it because you got to earn that nickname. We've heard the nickname Queen of Violence, but we hadn't seen it yet. And dude, that picture, we saw it. We saw it, and I hope this awakened that Queen of Violence inside of her.
That's probably the picture of the year, man, for sure. It just tells you what I don't know. Like, there's so much it tells you in that one picture. And it was a beautiful setup too, man. And honestly too, man, she was taking some pain too, because she was caught in a calf slicer. So she was in a calf slicer, and people, you know, tap out to calf slicers too. But she was just buying her time and setting up her knee bar. And then when she got that knee bar, she gave 0 Fs, man. She just went for it and almost took her damn leg home with her, man. I know people have said it too. Like, if you look at the angle of that knee, like, her knee is shredded, man.
Yeah, that's the way that was hyperextended, dude. Oh, like, it was just nasty. But yeah, this is what we want to see from her, man. Like, I personally want to see it. Like, I think she's looked good in her fights. She hasn't portrayed that violence that we wanted to see, but she looks good in her fights. She's got the look. The thing is, can you do it against the upper echelon of the flyweight division? Because that's the thing, is every time I see that flyweight, I'm just like, man, like, you have a monster waiting for you. It's the same way, like, when I see a bantamweight in the women's division, like, you got a monster waiting for you. Like,
yeah, you better show up, and you better show us that you're gonna have a chance against that monster. You know?
Yeah, like, so I'm looking here. I got the flyweights here pulled up. So number 15, you got Molly McCann. She just lost, so but she didn't drop because I guess she didn't lose too much. You have Jiyeon Kim, Antonia Shevchenko, Montana De La Rosa, Alexis Davis, Macy Barber, Andrea Lee, Viviane Araujo, Modafferi, Jennifer Maya, Jessica Ai, Lauren Murphy, Joanne Calderwood, Calvillo, and Chikagian. If I'm Lipski, I'm looking for one of these fights, one of these top 15 fights, for sure. You know, you want to jump in there, you want to just jump in the deep end. Why not? And these are all people basically Shevchenko's taking care of. So if you can take care of them too, it automatically looks really good on you. Like, okay, we got someone who can compete with Shevchenko, and you get eyes on you faster. But she's got to come with this. She's got to come with this intensity every time.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a good start to that, a good step forward. People are gonna be showing this highlight for a long time, and they're gonna be showing this highlight before her next fight, and they're gonna expect that. So she set the bar for herself. Now she has to deliver going forward with some tougher competition.
Absolutely, man. I think it's impressive when you see a submission at 127 because of how kind of hard it is to set up a submission and to get it that quickly, man. Fantastic. And to know that she got it with the calf slicer on her. She got out of the calf slicer, like
oh, she didn't get out of it.
Oh, no, she didn't get out. She was able to get her submission.
Yeah, she got her submission while taking that pain, and I'm pretty sure that's why she cranked it, because she was feeling pain. But basically, she did the whole thing where, in boxing, like I'm willing to take one and give one because mine hurt more. Well, that's what she did. She was able to take the capsizer because she knew her knee bar was going to be worse.
Hey man, that shows toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter how you put it, that shows that she's got toughness. So look forward to see her next fight, man. I really am.
Yep.
The Queen of Violence. Maybe that's the one for this week.
Yeah.
I just love that name. It's a great name, but I kept saying multiple times, I got to see it and finally see it. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we got lightweight fight of the night here.
I didn't even see it.
You didn't? Okay, Mark Duchessis taking on Rafael Fiziev.
I didn't see it. I have to go back and watch it because it was fight of the night. I know that from like what I saw was the what is it called, the decision, and that Casey was really upset that he lost, so he thought he won that fight.
All right, well, maybe we'll get to that one another time when we're able to watch them. Yeah. But next up, dude, this is the most disappointing one for me. Middleweight, number 7, Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joker, Jack Hermansson.
Did you see this fight?
No, but I know what happened, and just to know that he was submitted that quickly, man, it really sucks because I like Gastelum, and unfortunately, he's on a very big skid right now.
Yeah, dude, he's on a big skid right now. I don't think he's in danger. I mean, he has that big loss against Adesanya and against Till, which was a somewhat close fight. He did lose it, but it was close.
I think that how Till performs against Whitaker is going to be it has a lot to do with Gastelum, because if Till goes in there and is able to compete, not only compete with Whitaker, but maybe even put it on him a little bit, that loss of Till doesn't look as bad.
Yeah, I agree.
It looks a little bit better.
I agree. But man, I mean, if you look at the whole fight, there's a whole 1 minute and 18 seconds. Dude, Gastelum look good, man. Like, he throws his big overhand left that Hermansson is scared of, and he ducks, and Hermansson immediately goes into a clinch. And dude, beautiful throw from Kelvin Gastelum, dude. What is it called? It's basically like a suplex, belly to belly suplex, where he throws him over his shoulder, and he lands in like top half guard. I'm like, yes, man, this, like, he's on point. He's like, he's sharp. He's strong. He's on top now. He's about to beat him up, and then he does what Kelvin Gastelum has been known to do earlier in his career, and just do a lackadaisical defense, and not really jerk his leg out from Hermansson when Hermansson was holding his leg. And that's the thing too. Kelvin Gastelum, he's been in it. I've seen him do it a lot of times where they go for his legs and he'll get out and he'll scoot out, and he doesn't have like long legs, so it's not as much of a threat to his legs. But Hermansson, man, he's not a joke, man. Like, he's a what is it called, like a opportunity finisher. So if you give him an opportunity, he's gonna finish. And Gastelum just left his leg in there too long, was too lackadaisical with it, and he got caught. I feel like this fight, 99 out of 100 times, Gastelum probably beats Hermansson, dude. Honestly, in my opinion, especially with how that fight started, 99 times out of 100, and he just got caught.
Well, was it similar to how when Cyphers was fighting against Dern and got her leg caught, and she just didn't know how to get her leg out of it, or was just kind of being lackadaisical about it, and then got caught in a locker?
Yeah, it was being lackadaisical. Like, okay, so the first thing you're supposed to do when you get your leg is you're supposed to twist, and then you're supposed to use your other foot and put it on their butt and push off so that they can lose the grip. He didn't do that. He was just trying to hop around and jump around, and so because basically what he was doing is he wanted to stay standing. He didn't want to go down and push, and that cost him. Like, he was thinking that and it's true. I mean, I guess it's true. Like, he was thinking, this guy Hermansson's not really gonna go for a leg lock. He's not really gonna go hard for it. And it actually, benefited Hermansson because they had just started, so he wasn't slippery. If he was more slippery, it would have been harder to get. It was just lackadaisical, man. I know he felt bad. Gastelum talked about it in the post fight, and then also on his Instagram or Twitter or something. Yeah, he was very, he felt. I don't think I've seen him like feel this way or express his feelings this way about any fight. Even the Darren Till fight, he said, "Hey, it happens. I'm going to move forward, whatever." This one, he said he was sorry that he let people down. So I feel like he knows that he messed up. This was an opportunity for him to get back on the on the right side of the ledger, and instead he loses by just not being a professional, I guess.
Yeah, but I will say this, man. If like you say, he's going to go back to the drama. He's as upset as he is. I look out for the Gaslam's next opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I think he, I think he knows now, kind of like, hey, I can't lose anymore. And dude, he's a tough out, man. Like, he's left-handed, he's strong, he's fast. I mean, and this guy Hermansson's a big dude at 185, and he was able to do that throw on him. So, I just feel like he's just been getting some bad breaks recently,
Yeah, real quick. This is a hitman for the Russian mob. He looks scary as hell, man.
Yeah, dude. And the thing about him too is he lost some. He had some juice, man, but he lost it when he got beat up by
Cannonier, right?
Yeah, dude. But when he got beat up by Cannonier, dude, like Cannonier knocked him out in the second round, dude, and it was just bad, But before that, he beat David Branch and he beat Jacare, so he was rising, and then Cannonier just took the air out of his balloon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if Cannonier can do that, I think Gaslam's going to be able to get him out of there as well, knock him out. But it just didn't work out that way, man.
Yeah, so real quick, we're going to jump into the middleweight later, but we can go ahead and kind of look forward to what's next for both guys. And I got the rankings pulled up right here for middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
So you got you got Hermansson here at 6, Gaslam at 7. I don't know if they've updated the rankings yet. I'm not sure exactly when they do that, but it is Monday. So they might have just said, you know what, they both can stay put because of the fact that we have Darren Till fighting this weekend. And Cannonier and Romero have not fought since their last fights.
Mm-hmm.
We know Costa has the title shot in September, right?
Against
Adesanya, so we know that's happening. Cannonier and Yoel Romero that are kind of partnerless right now. But where would you go? Would you give Hermansson a rematch against Cannonier?
No, what I would do is I would wait for the winner of this weekend's fight, and then
give the winner to that
to Cannonier, and whoever wins that fight is the next in line.
Okay, I like Cannonier. I like Cannonier, but we'll get into this weekend's fight. But all right, so now what about Gaslam? Does he need to take one of these guys that are below him?
Man,
or can he take the loser of Whitaker or Till?
No, I think they're gonna get him down below. Like he's on a skid. They're saying, is this guy still top 10? They're probably gonna give him your boy Edmund Shabazian.
Well, Shabazian's got Brunson soon.
Well, there you go. Those two got fights. Who are they gonna give him? Uriah Hall?
I feel like Uriah Hall's scheduled. If I'm not mistaken.
he was scheduled, but he fell off because the guy had.
He had COVID.
Yeah.
He had COVID.
Yeah.
No, not him. He was supposed to have Jacare.
And Jacare had COVID, right?
And Jacare caught COVID. That's right. That is right. So maybe Uriah, because if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Maybe Uriah Hall, and Uriah Hall is one of those guys too that needs a win.
Mm-hmm.
So you put two guys. Hey, basically tell them you want to stay, go out there and win.
Yeah, well, the thing about Gaslam, dude, I don't think they're cutting him anytime soon. And the reason I say that is because he
doesn't look bad, man.
Well, no, it's not that. He's an Ultimate Fighter winner. He's an Ultimate Fighter winner, and they give those guys a ton of leash, man. I mean, the other part of it, too, that Gaslam could say is that he's being forced to fight at 185, because he wanted to fight at 170, but he can't make weight, or he doesn't make weight all the time. So they forced him to go up to 185, and he was really good at 185. I mean, he got a interim championship bout at 185. So
yeah,
I don't know, man.
They look great too.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he still got a lot of life left in him, man.
Absolutely, I like Gaslam. I like him a lot, man. That dude bangs. He can bang. So, I'm also looking over here. You have Amari Akhmedov, Brad Tavares, Jan Heinisch, Marvin Vettori, and Antonio Carlos Jr. Vettori is coming off of a win, but and then you also have Jan, your boy. I know you like Jan Heinisch. So
Heinisch.
Heinisch is all the same.
Yeah, I feel like these guys, I mean, up until like Gastelum, those guys are all roughly they're roughly equal in skills, and everybody below is just like a step or a notch lower than them. So It's not bad. I mean, there's still good fights. Like Vittori, remember Vittori has that decision loss to Adesanya,
Yeah.
which he didn't look bad in. But I don't know if it's the same Adesanya now. But he was able to hang with them. So I don't know. Vittori,
I
Vittori
don't
might be.
know. I still got that. I still got the stank from that Romero fight in my mouth, man. I really do. I know Costa's not gonna let him do that shit this time, but it's something about that. It irks me, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get to the main event, man. Main event, and I know everyone was happy Friday morning when the weigh-in results come in and both guys made weight, and we're like, yes, we're gonna crown a champion unless it's some kind of a draw.
Yeah.
Both guys tap each other out. I don't know if you can even do like a double leg hook or a double heel hook. That'd be insane. But we knew we were going to be crowning a new champion, and Figueiredo said, "You know what? Last time I took a couple rounds to do it. I'm going to do it a little bit faster this time." And submits Benavidez at the end of the first round. And it's unfortunate for Benavidez, but I think honestly this is who I had winning. I think he looked great, even though that knockout last time came off of a headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like Figueiredo. I told you that I think that just sped up the knockout, that it was coming. But interesting to see that he did it with the. I know he's a jiu-jitsu guy too. I mean, most of the Brazilian guys have jiu-jitsu in them.
Mm-hmm.
But him going to the ground and showing Benavidez that I can, wherever you want to do it, I could take it and tap them out, man. I mean, Benavidez wins because he goes home to Megan Levy, but that's a different thing.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on here, man. First, I wanted Benavidez to win just because, I like the old guys, old fighters. They've been around a while. I felt that the first fight, he was, I like he said, I think he won the first round. I think the second round, Figueiredo was catching up to him somewhat. But again, he's a veteran, so that doesn't mean that he can't, adjust. And that headbutt really messed him up. And that's why I was like, man, this sucks because you can't really take those back. It does the damage that it does. He got knocked out like nasty in that fight. He got split open. So when they announced the rematch, I was like, yes, he'll get a rematch. But at the same time, I know Figueiredo's not an easy out. He's a tough dude. He has a lot of power. I also felt like it was a bad indictment of Figueiredo for not making weight. Like, this is for the championship, man. How can you not make weight? So I wanted to see if he made weight this time. Now, in this fight, Benavidez didn't look good. He looked slower. And he wasn't taking punches well at all, man. I mean, Figueiredo was catching them, yes, but with nothing that hard at the beginning, and it was rocking him. I think he dropped him twice before the last. So the submission came off of a huge knockdown, man. And I was like, man, how do you get hit like that? Like, how basically he got hit with an overhand right flush when he had his hands up. And so they went back. I went back. I mean, they replayed it. I went back and replayed it in slow-mo. And he was trying to parry, man. So he was trying to like block and punch at the same time. And when he moved his hand down, that's when the punch came hit him right in the jaw, put him down. He was out of it. And that's when he locked in the rear naked choke. And earlier in that round, he was also on his back because he got knocked down, and he was able to fight it off and get back to standing. But he just looked slow, man. He looked slow. He didn't have the power. Figueiredo had figured him out. He couldn't take the punches, and Figueiredo knocked him out. So I don't like. Yeah, Figueiredo's good. I think he does have some power, but it's hard not to get knocked out when you get punched flush in the face with an overhand right. But I definitely want to see Figueiredo fight. Some more. I mean, honestly, if Triple C was still in the division, I'd love to see that fight. I don't think we're ever going to see that fight. The other thing to say about Figueiredo is, apparently he is even in his recent past a hairdresser in his native hometown, and he was also a cook in his native hometown at the same time while he's training and fighting. So it's very funny. He's a jack of all trades. He seems like a good guy. He just got the better of Benavidez. Benavidez is older, man. I'm sure. I think he should retire, but he said he doesn't want to go out like that. So I think we're going to see him at least one more time.
Okay.
But yeah, he's ready, man.
Yeah, it's just something about I felt like that last fight he had to capitalize. You had Figueiredo, who's not really fighting for anything besides the fact that he didn't make weight. You kind of want to improve yourself after you don't make weight, but at the same time, you go in thinking you're fighting for the championship, you get told, hey, you're not. Like, you can't win it. He can win it, but you can't. It's easy. It's easy to take a night off. And then you get knocked out the way you did, even though you can say the headbutt, and you have 100% that argument. I don't take that away from you, but this doesn't help anything for Benavidez. This doesn't help Benavidez. I don't even know who's going to be challenging for the title next. There's so many guys that I know. Probably Alex Perez is one I would want to see.
Yeah,
especially after his last fight, I would like to see Perez versus Figueiredo. That'd be great.
Hey, where's that? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah. He's number 5. If you can see right there, he's under Pantoja. But I would like to see, especially with Pantoja. If Pantoja would have lost, would have won, I'd say him. But I don't remember I don't even remember Brandon Moreno's last fight.
He's the assassin baby, or what is his name?
I don't know.
Yeah,
the assassin baby. Yeah.
Yeah, his last fight, he looked really good, dude.
So you say him? I would say him or against.
Against
Formiga. Yeah.
He'd be Formiga. Yeah.
So him or Perez, I'd like to see go against Figueiredo for sure. But
absolutely, man. I think both of those fights would be freaking awesome, man.
And it's something, you know how them flyweights are, man. I love flyweight fights, especially when they go 3 rounds or 5 rounds. Oh, great.
Yeah, fast, a lot of punches.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, Houston's own Matt Schnell is ranked number 10.
Oh yeah, I'm always a cheer for the Houston guy. He needs one. Give him one more.
Matt Danger Schnell.
Give him.
Hey, remember Hoival looked good. Remember, he's the one who got that 50K that he said he was working and.
Oh yeah. I was crying because he thought he didn't have to go to work. He said,
"Yeah,
got that 50K." He said, "I'm not going to work."
Yeah, I called in. So there's some good fighters at 125, man.
I'm excited, dude. Like the flyweight, because it's open. You don't have the Monsters Cejudo anymore. It's wide open. Basically, Figueiredo can say,
You know what I heard through the grapevine, man.
What's up?
Potentially the next fight for Figueiredo might be somebody that's not even in the division.
Ooh,
it might be a guy that's number 3 at 135.
Oh, really? Garbrandt.
Mr. Cody Garbrandt has stated that in his past, his projection was to dominate 135 and then go down to 125. So if he sees a faster way to a championship at 125, that he's probably willing to take that fight and challenge Deiveson Figueiredo for the belt.
Very interesting. That's a fight I would like to watch. That is definitely a fight I would like to watch, especially this Cody Garbrandt.
Yep.
Yes, please, man. That'd be fantastic. The only thing is, how I feel about weight cuts, dude. They scare me.
Well, I mean, if you look at Garbrandt, he's not the biggest 135er,
no,
man.
You're right. He's not. But it's just something about it's just maybe like that 10 pounds, just a little more than. But I mean, we also saw Jose Aldo. He looked horrible, but he looked good in the. He looks horrible. He looked horrible in pictures before, but he looked great when he stepped in that octagon. So, and I believe I heard Bisping say, I forgot who he was talking about, but that normally when you see, sorry, it was Cormier on First Take when he was talking about Masvidal before that fight went down. He mentioned that usually, like a lot of time, whenever you cut weight, that the night that you fight, you're normally at that weight that you were at before you cut. So maybe Garbrandt might have a little bit of an advantage because he's going to cut weight and then he's going to put all that weight back on. And Davison's, I mean, he's small. I think he looks small.
Yeah, he's small.
So he'll definitely have the reach advantage. And we just saw those hands, what they could do with Garbrandt.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw Figueiredo's hands too. I mean, we don't know. Like, the other thing is,
I'm salivating at that matchup, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, what we saw too. What's his name? Dillashaw. Dillashaw came back and came down to 125. And he didn't look good. He got beat up by Cejudo, so that might happen to Garbrandt, or he might be a natural 125 and win the belt. Now he has the belt there, and he can challenge at 135 when they get that figured out as well. And then,
Yeah.
you know, we're 5 months away from the reinstatement of TJ Dillashaw as well into both of these divisions. You know, he's made 125 before, and he was a champion at 135. He's going to be older. I think he's going to be 34, 35. But, man, I mean, he's still a good fighter, you know?
All right, man. So you brought it up. You brought up the bantamweight and champion and where the champion's going. You brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Dana is not committing to Aljamain Sterling. What's going on?
Man, I want to write about this, man, so bad. But I don't want to get carried away because I'll really start digging deep. But you know, from my understanding, it's two things. One, I think he is in serious negotiations with Henry Cejudo to come back. I think he wants Cejudo to come back at 135, but Cejudo wants to come back at 145 and challenge Volkanovski. So I think that's kind of where they're at. So he's not putting his cards out on the table yet. And then secondly, Aljamain Sterling tested free agency before he signed his recent contract with the UFC, which was about 2 or 3 fights ago. And Dana White didn't like that. Dana White didn't like that. He got upset about that. He thought he had been taking care of him. And part of that reason, too, is because Dana White has that friendship with Matt Serra. And Aljamain Sterling is part of Matt Serra's group. He trains him. He's in his corner with him and Ray Longo. And so he was upset about that because he felt that it wasn't Matt Serra or Ray Longo's fault that he tested free agency. It was Aljamain Sterling's fault himself that tested free agency. And so he's holding that grudge against him and kind of saying, no, I'm not going to give you this because I already know how difficult it was to negotiate with you already. I already know how you are, and I'm not going to give this to you right now. There really is no other reasons why. Aljamain Sterling, we've talked about it on this podcast before. He's the man. You know, he's the man. He's beat everybody. Marlon Moraes came out and talked about, you know, he should be the number one contender, not Aljamain Sterling, because he has a knockout over Aljamain Sterling. I can tell you right now, man, Aljamain Sterling is not the same fighter that got knocked out by Marlon Moraes. I think 2.5, almost 3 years ago. I think you fight again right now based on Marlon Moraes' last performance, and Aljamain Sterling beats him pillar to post. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think he wins a fairly easy decision. So I just don't get it, man. I just hate how Dana White doesn't you know, reward guys that have been winning for him. That if this is a true sport like MLB, like NBA, I mean, you don't see, you know, Adam Silver, you know, not letting, you know, the Golden State Warriors into the finals because Steve Kerr is so outspoken and he just doesn't like them. You know, it's whoever wins. It's whoever wins gets to the end, gets to the championship. Well, Aljamain Sterling is winning. He's been winning. He's been winning in easy fashion. He beat Corey Sandhagen like nothing. You know, like he needs to be at the top of this division. And these are the fights that we want to see. But because Dana White has a personal vendetta, or because Dana White is negotiating with another fighter that he should negotiate with back in February or March or whenever the hell it was, that we don't get to see him say that Aljamain Sterling is the number one contender. And actually, Aljamain Sterling is the uncrowned champion, like I mentioned to you before.
Yeah. And you mentioned Marlon Moraes, man. Marlon Moraes got handled by Aldo. Even though Aldo technically lost that fight, Marlon Moraes did not look like the same fighter that fought Cejudo when he fought Aldo. Because against Cejudo, man, he looked good for a bit, man. He looked really good, and we didn't see that fighter. And if you ask me, if they would have decided, hey, instead of Aldo, Moraes gets Jan for the interim, I think Moraes gets just easily as handled as Jan did. Maybe even as Aldo did against Jan, maybe even easier. I think Aljamain Sterling is the uncrowned champ. You take care of Sandhagen like that, man. And I like Sandhagen. He took care of Sandhagen. Like there was no problem at all. Just odd, man. I don't know. It's weird, but this is also a stacked division, man. Look at this. We got Marlon Moraes number 1, Aljamain Sterling number 2, Garbrandt, Sandhagen, Munoz. Then you have Jose Assunção, Rivera moved up 1, Stamann moved up 1, Rob Font, Dominic Cruz, John Dodson, Song Yadong, which I like Song Yadong a lot, and then Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Oh man, I forgot about him, dude.
And he's fighting who again soon?
I don't know, but he's been talking so much mess.
I feel like he was scheduled for a fight. I'm gonna look him. I'm gonna search him on Google. I feel like he signed a fight recently. Give me a second. Oh, Marlon Vera.
Oh yeah, Marlon Vera.
Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy fight, dude. And that's a big fight for Marlon Vera because he feels like he should be ranked right now over Song Yadong.
Yeah, because
And he's not.
He won that fight.
Yeah, so I mean, if Marlon Vera is gonna want this fight, is gonna want that win just as much. But man, it's something about Sean O'Malley, dude. He's just a crazy striker. Probably my favorite in the division right now, besides Dominic Cruz and right now Garbrandt, I would say.
Yeah, man.
But,
I mean, like you said, that division is pretty stacked, man. You have some older guys up at the top that, like we talked about. Remember, like I mentioned, you still got Dillashaw coming in about 5 months. It's going to be another name and former champion to add to that division, even though he's a little bit older. But and then you got excitement at the bottom end with Sean O'Malley coming in. You also have Marlon Vera. Win or lose, Marlon Vera is still on the rise. You know, he's still young. He's still coming up. So there's just a lot going on in this division, man. And it just sucks that Cejudo's not there, and it sucks that Dana White is kind of not letting Aljamain Sterling get his shot, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Honestly, the only fight I really want to break down and we can get the hell out of here is Whitaker versus Till, because that's the fight. That's the fight of this card, man. Not really much else. I mean, I'm excited to see what Gustafsson can do heavyweight. That's gonna be cool to see. Mm-hmm. But really, it's Whitaker and Till.
Whitaker and Till, top heavy card. You have some old names on it like Hua and Nogueira. Again, they're on the back nine, or they're way on the back nine, probably the back two of their career.
Yeah.
Gustafsson coming in at heavyweight. That's interesting. I'm kind of wondering what he's doing there at heavyweight, but maybe he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about Robert, the Reaper, Whitaker, and Darren. I copy and paste my face onto everybody's face Till.
I don't know what he's going crazy. He's really going crazy. But I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. I feel like he's a better 185er than he was a 170 pounder, even though he challenged for the belt at 170. I feel like he's more well-rounded. I think he's more cognizant of the power at 185. Mm-hmm. He's just been a better fighter at 185, man. And Robert Whitaker, on the other hand, has been a shell of his former self. Again, I'll ask you again, have you seen those fights with Yoel Romero?
Oh no.
All right, man. You have to watch.
I'll watch it before the fights. I'll watch it before
the fights, man, because that Robert Whitaker is a champion, man. That Robert Whitaker is a champion. That's not the same one that lost to Adesanya, that got whooped up by Adesanya. And so again, this is what I told you last time: is which Whitaker are we seeing?
Oh no. Can you turn your Wi-Fi off? Hello? Oh no. All right, guys, we seem to be having some technical difficulties here at the moment. But yeah, let's talk about Whitaker versus Till. So Till coming off of a big win against Gastelum. Very good fight between those two. And then you have Whitaker coming off of his loss to Adesanya, getting knocked out twice. And I believe Jesus was saying, what are we going to see? Are we going to see Whitaker that he said fought Romero and looked great? Or are we going to see the Whitaker that fought Adesanya, man? I don't know. I think I'm going to go Whitaker on this one. He's more seasoned in the middleweight division. This is only going to be Darren Till's second fight at middleweight. So I'm going to go with Whitaker, but this has the potential to be a great fight, or it can be a great knockout from either guy. Both guys are crazy strong. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Unfortunately, it looks like Jesus is gone. He has some technical difficulties, but we're gonna go ahead and head out for the night. I appreciate you guys joining us and watching this video. Let me just let Jesus know that we're gonna jump off real quick. But yeah, man, thank you guys for joining. We will see you guys next week to talk about the Whitaker and Till fight, the fight card, and much more. But and also stay tuned. We might have a guest for next week. Stay tuned for that and the day. And see you guys next week for the ANS podcast. Peace out. And as Jesus says, AMF.